Okay. Okay, so hello everybody. This is the Sixth Purpose Project with a friend Kiara. So we're gonna start out with Kiara introducing herself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for having me. Well, I'm very excited
Yeah.
to be on your podcast. Hi, I'm Chiara. I am 22 and I am an Italian citizen, but I lived most of my life in Spain. So I lived for about 10 years in Spain. And then I came to the US to study and get my bachelor's degree. Will and I went to school together. We both went to Hamilton for a while and played on the golf team together for a little bit. Graduated from Hamilton College in New York almost a year ago, and now I am working full time in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So it's this is, I mean, to anyone out there, looking for, coincidences or just kind of the small world moments, I don't know, it's hard to say if this is a coincidence or not. I mean, but it's just a small world. Kiara, I mean, she grew up in Italy and then moved to Spain, right? And
Yep.
then she went to a college that I went to
Mhm.
in New York in the middle of nowhere. And then now she
With a
literally,
buffalo farm, it's on a hill with
yeah,
a buffalo farm on the bottom of the hill.
yeah. So, yeah, we were on the golf team together. I don't know if I said that or not. And now she's like she said, she's in Pittsburgh, which is where I live. And she actually moved into Pittsburgh the same month that I moved back into Pittsburgh. We didn't even know it. We've been in the
Until
same town for 10 months and we were decent friends in college. We weren't like super, super close, but we were definitely friends. And now it's like we're talking before this, we're like, yeah, we're definitely gonna get together and do stuff.
yeah, no, it's
Um,
definitely gonna happen.
um, yeah, I mean, just a lot of things that, just very small world. It's almost hard to believe, to be honest. But I trust her.
Cheers.
I mean, it's like anyway, let's jump into the purpose project here. So you are a very passionate person, like myself. It's like you're very passionate,
Mhm.
possibly even more passionate than me. You have an amazing job. You graduated college. You did all this stuff, played golf, this and that. Now it's working out. It seems it's like your passion. How is that? My first question. How has that impacted your physical and mental? Like, how has that helped you overall, and
So,
possibly given you purpose?
so for a really long time, exercise was actually a negative thing in my life. It was more seen as me punishing myself. And for a really long time, I actually had a very negative view of exercise. And that was associated with a lot of other issues that I had with mental health and growing
Yeah,
up. A lot of issues with me fitting into Spain because moving around a lot and being from different cultures can be really hard, and kids can be really mean because of that.
yeah,
Um, and, but the real switch was when I started to really see what I was capable of more than seeing what effects it had on me physically in
yeah,
terms of any possible like physical changes, but more of like how did it make me
yeah,
feel. And when I switched that mentality to how do I feel when I go on this run, how do I feel when I
yeah,
lift this, when I work out, it changed my perspective to a level of confidence and focusing on my abilities and focusing a lot more on what I'm capable of kind of translated into everything outside of the gym. What am I capable of as a person? What am I capable
yeah.
of by talking to people? What am I able
Well,
to do with my life outside of a
yeah.
run?
Not to cut you off. I mean, just like I don't know if anyone else is like amazed by this, but it's like Kiara moved from Italy to Spain and then left her family to move to New York and go to college. And you studied math, right? Studied
Yep.
math, one of like the hardest things, and then moved again away from everybody to Pittsburgh, where she knew nobody pretty much but me. Like there's a few Hamilton people lurking around in Pittsburgh, but it's like she,
Not meant.
I mean, clearly, like despite, your like, the negative mental health stuff, whatever. Like obviously, I don't brush that stuff. Obviously, I'm, probably the first person to be open and talking about my stuff, but
Yeah.
it's like clearly that has not stopped you in any capacity.
Yeah.
So it's like, and especially, being, not especially being a woman, but traditionally, I mean, it's like, it was a man's world. For a long time, it's like the women, were in the house. It's like now, like you're like kind of changing that narrative. Without women like you, it's like who knows what the world would be like. but it's like, I mean, I see pictures of you like on Instagram, and it's like not to discriminate against anyone that's like, like you're like, you're like look like, you're like it's paid off. It's like clearly to anyone out there who's saying like, oh, like, taking a risk, doing this and that isn't gonna pay off. Like, yeah, I'm sure you have bad days, but it's like just look at all that you've done. Like look at all the places you've been without taking that risk and like believing in yourself, believing that, there's purpose in your next move or, next day, like who knows
Mhm.
where you'd be. But it's like, I think I could learn from you a lot personally in terms of, I feel like I myself put myself out there, but it's like, you've done that to an extreme, moving from literally country to country to
You
country.
really
Uh,
learn a lot of the times, you learn that you lose a lot more by not trying than if you try
yeah,
and because by trying and fail, you learn something that then you can apply in other aspects of life and maybe try again.
yeah,
Whereas if you never try, you'll never know. If you don't try, you never learn. So,
yeah. No, that's I think sometimes like, I need to find a balance. Like sometimes I'm like too like just full gung ho, like trying everything new. And then sometimes I'm like, the opposite, just like hanging out in my house, doing literally nothing, which is like, you know, that's okay. Like it's like, it's like it's okay to take a rest day. It's okay to chill in the house. It's okay to not do a whole lot. But it's like, for me, it's like, especially it's like, in the past couple of years, I haven't necessarily, been doing too much travel around the world. Um, what I have done is, continuously believed in myself. And I think that, that's what the both of us have done. And, that's a huge thing, you
that
know,
goes a lot also just so much farther than people give it credit for. Like
yeah,
believing in your abilities. I've been now
yeah,
uh really trusting in the process and trusting myself in this process of knowing like, yeah, I have hard days and I have, there's days
yeah,
where it's gonna suck, days where I don't want to do anything, days where I
yeah,
don't hear, but
yeah,
trust myself and trusting,
yeah,
believe my abilities
yeah,
goes so far. Because if you
yeah,
don't do that, you don't keep going.
yeah, exactly. And it's things like, it's like, we can talk about this stuff. And I think the difference between me and you right now, it's like, it's not like I'm not doing anything. I
Mhm.
feel like myself, I'm talking about all this wisdom and stuff and not actually putting in the work like you're doing. Like, you're talking about all this wisdom and you're also working out on a daily basis. You're also working a professional job. You're also, socializing, I'm assuming. Like you're doing probably like you're doing everything that like, any like you're doing a lot. And it's like,
Well, I
these
appreciate
work like what do I want to say? No, it's just like it's just impressive. Like I was telling, even people in work yesterday, it's like, hopefully in work and stuff, like on a daily basis, there's like encouragement, because like you never know. I mean, in a work, it's like you never know around like, who what employees, what peers are having a bad day and stuff. And it's like, I think for myself, you know, it's like whenever I do have a bad day, I'll just lose purpose. Like I'll just go from like, you know, like a positive, uplifting, purposeful mindset in life to like losing all confidence in myself and the world and even humanity. I
yeah.
don't know if you can relate to that.
Oh gosh,
Um,
yeah.
but what do you think? Let me ask you this. What do you think about accountability, purposeful accountability, taking accountability? You think there's a lot of purpose in that and value?
Oh, absolutely. I think
Yeah,
keeping, especially yourself accountable, can really help you when it comes down to, achieving specific goals or
yeah,
tasks. Because if you don't keep yourself accountable and keep yourself, on par with what, if you have specific goals that you'd like to achieve, and those can be really anything. It can be personal, it can be interpersonal, it could be physical, it could be mental. If you don't keep yourself accountable, what are you going to do on the days where you don't want to do it? The
yeah,
days where you're training, say right now I'm training for a marathon,
yeah,
um, which I actually, am. And there's days
yeah,
where I'm waking up and it's like, I can't do this any other time than 5:30 in the morning
yeah.
on, by myself.
Yeah, so you're not gonna blame it. Like, you're just gonna get up and do it,
And it's, if I don't
Yeah,
keep myself accountable for that and I don't take action on that,
yeah,
I'm not getting myself closer to my goal. And
right.
so accountability is, and it doesn't even have to be alone. You don't have to do everything alone. I think a lot of us
Yeah,
think that we're in this alone. And there's this quote from
yeah,
a former CEO, but
Yeah,
founder of a company called Bear Performance Nutrition. And
yeah,
one of the says, which I think is very important for this especially as well, is if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that can come with accountability as well. You know, having
yeah,
a support group to help you keep
uh,
you accountable and keep you going and keep you
yeah,
on par with what you want to achieve.
yeah. No, that relates to me a lot, that quote. I've never heard that quote before. I mean, what is it? Can you say it again?
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you
Yeah,
want to go far, go together.
that's great. I mean, that's some of the best stuff the Purpose Project has seen, in my opinion. Selfishly for me, because it's like
This is not.
anyone that knows me, like recently, I'm that person that wants to go fast, 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 fast throughout life. It's like, I want to go fast, 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 and move on. And it's like, that might not be something I should say on the Purpose Project, but like we were talking about, I'm a very vulnerable person.
Mhm.
And I think, humanity as a whole, something that we've done well, like a good aspect of humanity, is this aspect of working together as a team. I think, I've learned that, that's been ingrained in me. I can't change that necessarily. I mean, I can grow out of that, but I can't necessarily change that
Mhm.
aspect of me. I love working as a team. And I
Yeah.
think, I would butt back and say, I think you can, still go fast through life while working as a team, but at the same time, it's kind of like I know exactly what you're saying. It's like, working together is something that might be more difficult and might be more stressful. Look at
Mhm.
having a family. It's like, that's something that right now it's kind of like for me, it's like, I don't know. It's like, I kind of want to just, cruise through life, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, I mean, clearly there's a lot of value. Clearly, if so many people are having a family, having a wife and having kids, it's like, clearly there's, benefit to that. Clearly there's like value and clearly there's purpose behind that. There's clearly some explanation behind why so many people are doing that.
And having a group or a support system that
Yeah,
believes in the mission that you do not only can help you then achieve your goals and go farther than those, but also help you in moments of difficulty because you're going to have different perspectives. It's really easy when you're having a bad day, and I know this myself,
yeah,
to isolate yourself. And that's been
yeah,
something that's kind of difficult living so far from family and so far
yeah.
from a lot of my close
Yeah,
friends.
honestly.
It's really, and you must, recognize that as well, going to college and having that transition as well, is when you're far from your support system and far from people that believe in you and support you, it's really easy to
Yeah.
hide away.
Let me
And
ask you this right there quick. So I hear you. I mean, yeah, I've been away from family for an extended period of time. To me, it like wasn't, super, super tricky. I was, having conversation with them every week, yada, yada, yada. But even still, like that leap, it's like if you were having a terrible day, it's like for me, like I can just call up my mom or something, or dad or stepdad, stepmom. It's like if I don't do that, but it's like I could do that. I know they're there. For you, it's kind of like,
yeah,
you can call them, but they're across the pond. Anyway,
yeah.
how is your relationship with your family? Because there's a lot of purpose there. It's like,
Um, it's definitely just gotten better and better. When I was younger, I'm actually the middle child.
okay,
And so I have an older sister and a younger brother. And
yeah,
for a really long time, I actually struggled with that a lot. And what I used to do was I would just shut myself out. I wouldn't
yeah,
let anyone in. I wouldn't, allow anyone to know what was going on in my head. I would just go about my life saying I'm fine when in actuality that I was killing myself from the inside out, basically.
okay,
And it all honestly got a lot better when I graduated high school and went to college because
yeah,
being physically far made me realize that I couldn't do it alone.
yeah. Let me
And
say that.
being, you know, and so since then, opening up to my family and
Uh,
opening up to them, our relationship, it was never bad. It was just completely me shutting them out and
yeah.
not letting them into
So it's
my life
funny.
and what.
So do you think
And
you've like do you think you've obtained more confidence in yourself or more, you know, possibly
yeah.
uncovered more purpose and value upon your family supporting you more and knowing you better? Is that safe
I
to say?
found more I found more of a purpose, I think, in my life and
Yeah,
in my abilities to see the need to ask for help.
yeah,
For the longest time, I was like, this is not worth it. Like my issues aren't big enough. My problems aren't worth their
yeah,
time.
yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, for me, it's like,
That was
yeah, yeah,
no, just realizing that that wasn't the case, and I do have a purpose, and I am not a waste of space, and
yeah,
I do deserve to be here.
yeah,
Made communication with my family a lot easier because
yeah.
I needed to talk to
You
them
are
about my problems.
extraordinarily, valuable in my eyes to not only humanity, not only to the United States, not only to the community you're in now, but also personally. I mean, this might be seeming like a stretch, but also to me, I mean, I hear you. It's like, I didn't struggle too much whenever I was growing up. I'm struggling more so now than I did growing
Yeah,
up. Not like super, like not perpetually on a daily basis, but having moments here and there of really, just turmoil. And it's like, you know, something tough that, for me, it's like anyone out there, this is a tough thing to hear. And it's like, this might be controversial, but it's like, for me, it's like, you know, I realize it's like, even whenever I get really down and like suicidal even, it's like,
yeah,
I I'm never gonna do something to end my life. So the way I look at it is like, if I'm stuck with me, which like I'm not super disappointed with, but it's like, if I'm gonna be living for like the near future, why not just try to make myself better? Why not just try to, go out there and have conversations and, help up, not that I'm necessarily like helping you, but it's like, we like me and you can help each other. Like, we can develop a relationship. We can do a bunch of fun stuff together. Like other, like,
yeah.
even random people, like, it's like I've been, just like, if I'm going to be living, then I'm going to want to like do good for me and the community that I'm in. I'm just, assuming it's like you've had similar realizations, if not exactly the same.
I
And
really did.
for a bunch of individuals. And it's like, for me, I'm working on getting back into, like, not that it's a necessity for anyone to get back into professional, jobs and stuff, but it's like, it's something that I want to do. It's like something that, if I'm gonna be here and stuff, like I'm content working in a restaurant for 10 years. But it's like, knowing myself, it's like, it's kind of like I would kind of always want to keep doing and, keep like, and get to that professional, finish college, like get to that, what I'm talking about. But it's like that, it's like, yeah. And then also, this is because we got 3 minutes here.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna do another podcast, right?
Yes. Yes. No,
Yeah.
we definitely are.
Because we have I had a bunch of questions. We literally only talked about one of them so far. This is possibly one of them I wrote down, but this is a very, very interesting question in my eyes. What would you say? And you've already said a lot of stuff, like recommending stuff, like, talking about stuff you've thought about, gone through. What would you recommend? Like, what would you say to someone like you, and like, women, and also, you know, like anyone that might be like an immigrant, or like someone from outside the US? Like, what would you recommend them, or what would you tell them?
Never undervalue your abilities. You're capable of so much more, and limiting yourself, the limitations that you put on yourself are going to be a lot worse than anything else.
Mhm.
So removing those barriers and really fighting for what you believe in, which can be,
Yeah,
that starts with yourself. Believing in yourself
yeah,
and believing in what you can do is you can't move forward without believing in
that's it.
yourself.
I I completely agree. I mean, that's very straightforward, blunt, and honest. I mean, I think, whether it be yourself or other individuals, this is talking generally that put limitations on you. Um, it's like you got to break through, you got to break out of that. You got to show this, you got to show yourself, you got to show the world, what you're capable of, whether it be marathons, whether it be for me, like even showing consistency in work. It's like, you know,
That can
it's
even
like
waking
there's so much stuff. Like, we are
up,
capable of so much more than we think.
and that can
Um,
for some people, that can even be waking up and making yourself a meal after spending weeks in a rut of not being able to get out of bed.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Your abilities.
yeah.
Like,
Look, that's a great. I mean, you've got a great perspective. Um, and it's like, um, yeah. I mean, I think, that's pretty much. I mean, we covered a lot of stuff. Uh,
Hmm.
once again, this is the sixth purpose project. So Kiara, I mean, I very much appreciate it. If you know of anybody,
Hmm.
that'd be interested. Also, anyone, watching this, if you're interested, there's now a, cash participation, not trophy, not prize, but donation. I don't even know what the word is. You get $35 if you're willing to participate for 20 to 30 minutes and have a conversation and allow me to post it on YouTube. So we have a bunch of more, we have a ton of stuff we could talk about. But Kiara, is there anything else you'd like to say?
I
Uh,
just want I am
want to-
more than happy to do like I just want to help and I want to basically help my younger self
yes.
not suffer so much.
Yeah.
And
Oh my gosh.
really
Yeah.
my purpose in this the social media that I put out, the content that I try to put out,
Yeah.
um, is if I had seen this when I was younger, my life probably would have I don't know if it would have gone different, but
Yeah.
it possibly
Because you mean that, and it's like for myself, anyone watching this, if you're struggling, reach out. Send me
yeah.
comments on this. Like we will talk you out of something. If you're feeling really down, I've been there and she's been there. We can both help you. Seriously, like real talk, like comment here. I will respond. Like I will, it's like I will like, there are people that care about you. Like there are people that care about, I yeah, I mean that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, follow Kiara on YouTube. She's got her own YouTube channel, so I've liked and comments on some of her stuff. I
Yeah, I
guess
appreciate it.
I've helped her out, and I guess she's helping me out. So it's like, see, like the relationship is already forming. But anyway, I've got a blast, everybody. Kiara, if you want to stay on this for a sec afterwards, you can. Kiara, awesome, awesome stuff, and you guys will be seeing her again soon.
Yeah, I'm excited for our next
Got a
call,
bunch
dude.
of more questions, and we haven't
We'll
talked in so long, huh? We've
I
been
know. Well,
talking.
we have to do an in-person one.
Oh yeah, we can
Then
definitely do that.
we'll
Yeah.
be in the same next time.
Yeah, we can do that next week even. All right, well, Purpose Project fam. Hopefully this was entertaining. I love you guys. Yo.
Awesome. Thank you. All right.